Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk about how the types of reactions and single replacement forms went for people yesterday. There were a variety of different forms that people received, so most people will not have seen this form specifically, but it's going to be a wonderful example anyways, because you were all asked to do a very similar problem set. So we see the instructions and it's telling us that we're going to identify the following reactions as either synthesis, decomposition, combustion, or single replacement using the patterns that we've been provided. Then you're going to identify if a single replacement reaction occurs using the activity series and explaining how you determined both of those things. So what I want you to notice is that the emphasis on how you will receive points with this was through the explanation, right? 1 point was for identifying it correctly, but 2 points was if you could explain how you did that. Same thing with single replacement, 1 point for identifying that it happens or not, and then 2 points for explaining how you determined that. So I had to go through and grade the forms. And so as I went through, there were comments that I had noted and had decided that this would be a good way to spend today. So when I look at problem 1, it's just asking me what type of reaction is this? And I see that they, let's see if I can turn this into a pointer. That this types of reaction is listed with the general pattern and the description. The description here is pretty much like an explanation you can provide for me to justify that you identified it as any of those types. So we have our reaction here, and we're essentially going to look for these patterns here. So I have my reaction. I'm just going to work from the top down. A synthesis reaction has 2 reactants, right? A and B form 1 product. In our reaction, we have 1 reactant, so we can immediately get rid of synthesis because synthesis reactions have 2 reactants. Decomposition reactions have 1 reactant forming 2 products or multiple products. So we go to our reaction and we do have 1 reactant forming 2 products. So decomposition is the type of reaction that this is. But if I were to just keep going, combustion reactions always have oxygen as a reactant, right? And that's how the description is describing combustion. And single replacement is when you have a compound and an element. The order does not matter. You can have the element first and the compound second, and it's going to produce a compound and a single element. And so based off that, the descriptions and the patterns, we have a decomposition reaction. This next question that is asking me to explain how I knew it was that type of reaction in terms of the reactants and products, I would say that we went through and we decided it was decomposition because we had 1 reactant form 2 products. And that would have given me the 2 points because I was explaining how I determined it was decomposition, and it included in terms of reactants and products. Looking at problem with our single replacement reaction, and does it occur? So we have the activity series, and you will only use the activity series for problems I provide it for. The activity series tells us which elements are more reactive than others. Again, more reactive just means that it wants to be in a compound. The higher it is on the series, more towards the top, the more reactive it is. So we go and we look for Al. We find Al right here. And we look for SN. We find it right here. And so what we find between Al and Cl is that Al is more reactive. So our more reactive element wants to be in a compound and it's not. So this reaction will occur. So I would have put yes. How we walked through that to determine if it would occur is exactly what you would have explained for the problem on if you knew the reaction occurred or did not occur. So I would have put that aluminum was more reactive than SN, and aluminum is not in the compound, so the reaction will occur. So I want you to just try 2 more problems similar to what you did yesterday and what we just walked through, hopefully seeing improvement from yesterday's problems. Go give them a shot.